Hi, this is Ted. Today I'm going to be talking about Robin Bullock and a prophecy which was fulfilled on December 25th. The prophecy made September 8th. Who is Robin Bullock?
Robert Bullock calls himself an apostle. He is also a pastor in Alabama and has started a school called Over the Top Bible College. Back to you, Ted.
Now, the first time I heard this prophecy, I heard only because I was just kind of half paying attention, but as soon as I heard buildings blown up, all my attention went there. And everything else in this whole story, he talks about 13 different things at least, but everything else seemed to fall away or I'll surrender to this one thing.
Saw a snake brewing is what I heard. Snake brewing in the city. There are some old activists stirring up new activists, and I saw it like in the days of Patty Hearst and the Weather Underground. If I see coming maybe an explosion in a building, yes, hiding in the woods, for forces that be would seek to destroy your life or freedom. Explosions will be the next added. Look for them, pray against them, for this is going to happen right up into the edge of the sea. For the sea is involved, and it's rumbling and roaring, and the sea is red, and there is a red sea and a red tide. For this thing is going to come, says the Lord, and the enemy is going to run right up against the edge of the seashore. For there is where I will meet him, and there is where I will do what I do and combat him. So get ready and pray now, for you're not ready. And I see something, a great distraction in Northern California. I see a distraction in California. Not only is the smoke darkening the skies, but it is a distraction for something that is trying to arise. For in the days to come, I'm planning a revival with the power to raise the dead. And all of this is to stop it. You think it's just all political in origin and framework, but it's not, says the Lord. It is a designed weapon to stop revival before it can begin to work.
What is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is something that we all fall into. We make quick decisions because we need to, as human beings, a lot of times make quick decisions. And sometimes those decisions are informed by outside people and events, and somehow we begin to build conclusions. And rather than looking at different possibilities, we kind of hold on to the one conclusion and find ways to confirm what we have discovered or what we have learned to believe or what others have told us. And we reject anything that contradicts. I faced this the first time I listened to this prophecy of his. I wanted to reject it. I wanted to say, no, this can't be. I wanted to just ignore it and move on to something that is clear. Clearly in my ballpark. But then I thought, I didn't learn healing this way. I didn't learn about healing this way. I dug into something I didn't want to dig into. And I learned a lot about faith healing and healing and the real source. And so I decided I have to deal with this. I have to dig into it. I can't just ignore it and just focus on the things that don't work. Because this looks like it works. Everything seemed to fit. But maybe some things didn't quite fit. I was looking for ambiguity, and there was a lot of ambiguity. Is he being symbolic about forests and seas? Or is he being literal? When you're being symbolic, when you're being ambiguous, These are ways that psychics and fortune tellers and even people who are future tellers for governments and for economy, for businesses, they hide it behind ambiguity. Ambiguity. Why? Because you can say things and then later on you're just never proved wrong. And so I saw some ambiguity, but I also saw some things that were pretty clear. There's a lot of ways I could read into what I wanted to. And if I were to believe that he was on the up and up, I could see it crystal clear, clear as day. And then I thought of the Jeane Dixon effect. First of all, who is Jeane Dixon?
Hi, Jeane Dixon was given a crystal ball by a gypsy when she was young and told by that gypsy that she would be a seer, a very important seer, and that she would be before powerful people. Sure enough, President Nixon talked to her and counseled with her, as did President Reagan. In 1956, she wrote an article, and in that article she claimed that in 1960, a Democrat would be voted in, and that Democrat would be either assassinated or just die within his first or second term. Of course, we now know in 1963, President Kennedy, who was voted in, died. But many of her predictions did not come to pass. She changed her mind in 1960 and told the world that President Nixon would be president instead of Kennedy. Of course, now we know that President Nixon did not make it in 1960. She claimed that in 1958, World War III would begin. She also claimed many other things. That never happened.
The Jeane Dixon effect is twofold. First of all, you will, if you prophesy enough, you will get a few right, if you're clear. Occasionally, a prophet will get things right. Occasionally, Jeane Dixon got things right. And those few things that she got right stood out. And so much so that people didn't see the things that were wrong. And even within the prediction, people tend not to see the things that go wrong. They tend to focus only on that which seems to match with what happens in the future. This same effect can be found in The Simpsons. Who are The Simpsons?
The Simpsons is the longest running cartoon ever. It has almost 700 episodes, and in those 700 episodes, there are found, or at least claimed by many, to have dozens of predictions that have come to pass.
In the year 2000, an episode of The Simpsons had a little girl from The Simpsons as President of the United States in the future. In 2030, Lisa Simpson talked about a president who was her predecessor.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
Was President Trump predicted in The Simpsons story? Or was this a fluke? Was this the Jeane Dixon effect? There are people who are looking into The Simpsons and find dozens of predictions fulfilled. But I can tell you straight out, the Jeane Dixon effect is going on several ways. First of all, you have almost 700 episodes. You're going to find one or two, a dozen or two. Secondly, if you read into it enough, you're going to find a lot more. That's all I got to say today. This is Ted. You have a good one.